Our primary purpose is to make or bring a Catholic presence to the home missions, a small town and country, rural America, where there may never have been a Catholic presence or ever a Catholic church.
The biggest thing that drew me to Glenmary was the idea that Glenmary goes into counties in the rural South where there's very few Catholics and starts a Catholic church from scratch, builds it up until it can be turned over to the diocese.
The Glenmarys have as their charism living where culturally there are very, very few Catholics, but where he might have 50 families who have as much right to the sacraments as the person who lives in the middle of New York City or the middle of Savannah. We're a church that is obliged by the very nature of who we are to be on mission day and night to God's people, no matter where they are.
Our fidelity to the mission of Christ is to say Jesus left the 99 to search for the one. So it's that sense of finding the lost one and bringing them home and celebrating with that lost one. The little matters. The one is as important as the 100.
I think the Catholic Church brings people life. It brings them fulfillment. And the good news in being a Glenmary missioner is we go in these areas where there's no Catholic presence.
If you go through the South, there's still over 300 counties with the lack of a Catholic presence or a Catholic church.
Living in remote towns and small towns in a rural area, sometimes we just have to make do with what we have available at that minute. We don't always have the time or the resources, so we make do with what we have.
The needs are tremendous, in particular in the immigrant community. In rural, impoverished areas of the United States, the poverty is usually higher. There are tremendous needs in the families.
These people, as poor as they are, simple, they were thirsty for the good news. Some people were driving like 40 miles to come to the church, and this really made me see that, okay, this is what I want to do. I want to offer myself to these people. I want to help them.
I think one of the common factors among Glenmarians is we have a heart for the poor. And there are not many people listening to the cry of the poor as you go through life. That's who we go to first. And that was right back to Father Bishop, who founded Glenmary.
If it weren't for Glenmary presence in many of our mission areas, there might not be a food pantry, of bringing food, toiletry articles, blankets, and a lot of that need would not be met because a lot of people don't see it. You got to go to the back roads to find them.
The change in this area of Northeast Mississippi has really been the founding community of small English-speaking families and some growth in those areas, and then a huge influx of Spanish-speaking people.
Oftentimes, the Catholic Church is the only friend that the immigrants meet in the rural areas. And that's what we try to do in our mission is to serve as friends to the recently arrived immigrant community, helping them with the transition.
And as a Glenmarian, I find great joy in standing with people as they put together alternatives that will affirm creation and establish community and allow them to earn their livelihood and keep their families safe.
Not only is there need, it's an opportunity to share my faith and to give back to a church I love in a place where they rarely get that.
This is really a powerful, powerful gift from God to be able to share this compassion of Christ in the here and now. And I couldn't be here. I could not be here if I wasn't a Glenmary missioner.
What gives me the greatest joy as a Glenmarian is just being with people in a way that matters.
Glenmarians, I believe, see the whole dimension of a human being. And I think that's the way Christ did it. He fed people when they were hungry, and he healed people when they were broken, and he forgave people when they were confused.
Definitely with the smallness of the missions where we serve, the areas where we're at, there is a tremendous beauty in all of that. The Eucharist being present in an area where if Glenmary wasn't doing what they're doing, it wouldn't be there. People who are being served because people have chosen to sort of come away from the strong Catholic area and go to where it's not present.
For me, working in the Glenmary context, it's more about not the church today, but the possibility of what the church can be tomorrow and what we can construct and grow together as the people of God.
A desire to serve, love for the church, love for God's people, and faith, and putting the faith I have into action, and especially those most in need. And there's lots of that opportunity in Glenmary.
And no life is more challenging and rewarding and adventurous than a life of a Glenmarian. If you have the openness to trust God.
To me, it's very simple. You have to find out where God wants you to be and then go there, and that's where you'll be happy. And so this kind of life has been, for me, has been very, very, very rewarding. I could not imagine doing anything else. And it's hard to explain that to folks until you've experienced it. That's why you have to try it.
When you come and be in a parish or work with one of our brothers, work with one of our co-workers, you discover who we are. And that's kind of how we look at things. Come discover Christ in you. Come discover what Christ wants you to do. And even if you come and it's not for you, you're going to go away a better person.
There's so much that can be offered to you by taking that risk, by being courageous and being brave, and bringing the beauty of the Catholic Church to an area where it doesn't exist. But the grace that is needed will be there, and it'll be sufficient for you to grow in your Catholic identity, for you to thrive, to be a person of faith.